Today, Japan is facing one of the toughest weather emergencies of the year. A powerful typhoon has swept across the country, leaving behind flooding, injuries, and widespread damage. On top of that, suspected tornadoes have struck communities in Shizuoka and Ibaraki, adding to the fear and destruction. This is what happened, where it happened, and how people are coping right now. In the early hours of September 5th, Typhoon No. 15, also known internationally as Typhoon Pipa, made landfall on the southern coast of Shikoku, Japan. The storm roared ashore near Tsukumo City in Kochi Prefecture around 1 a.m. local time. Later in the morning, just before 9 a.m., the typhoon made its second landfall over Wakayama Prefecture. From there, it continued to move eastward along the Pacific coast, pushing heavy rainfall, fierce winds, and dangerous seas across much of the country. By the afternoon, the storm had already triggered another threat: suspected tornadoes. In Makinohara City, Shizuoka Prefecture, violent winds ripped through neighborhoods, flipping cars, breaking power lines, and injuring dozens of people. Only hours later, a second tornado-like event was reported in northern Ibaraki Prefecture. The typhoon's first impact was felt in Kochi Prefecture just after midnight. Coastal towns reported flooding almost immediately. By morning, as the system pushed into Wakayama, intense rain began falling over wide areas of Kansai and Tokai. The Japan Meteorological Agency issued warnings for multiple regions, including Shizuoka, Kanto, and Tohoku, warning residents about flooding, possible landslides, high winds, and the risk of tornadoes. Around 1:45 p.m., in Makinohara City of Shizuoka Prefecture, those warnings came true. Local authorities say a tornado likely touched down, overturning vehicles and causing structural damage. Not long after, around 3 p.m., another suspected tornado was reported further north in Ibaraki Prefecture. The numbers surrounding this storm help explain just how serious it is. More than 600,000 people were placed under evacuation orders as Typhoon No. 15 approached. Rainfall totals are still being collected, but some areas in western and central Japan reported torrential downpours throughout the morning. At least 20 people in Shizuoka were injured by the suspected tornado, many of them hurt by broken glass or falling debris. Strong winds also brought down power poles and damaged homes, leaving many residents without electricity. These figures continue to change as authorities assess the damage, but they already point to a major nationwide emergency. Behind these numbers are real people trying to stay safe. In Makinohara City, those caught in the suspected tornado described terrifying scenes. One resident compared the moment to being inside a car wash, with wind, rain, and flying debris pounding everything around them. At least 20 people had to be taken to a nearby hospital for treatment after being cut by glass or struck by objects carried by the wind. Some cars were overturned, and families trapped inside had to be helped out by emergency crews. In other parts of Japan, people faced the risk of flooding. Rising rivers forced many households to leave their homes and seek shelter. For the elderly and those living in rural areas, this was especially difficult, as they had to move quickly before conditions worsened. The storm has left its mark on Japan's infrastructure as well. In Shizuoka, the suspected tornado brought down power poles, leaving sections of the city without electricity. Roads in the area were blocked by debris, making it difficult for emergency teams to reach some neighborhoods. Across western and central Japan, heavy rain flooded roads and slowed rail services. Local authorities reported traffic disruptions on major highways, while some regional flights were delayed or canceled due to unsafe weather. Reports also note that car parks, streets, and low-lying areas around airports and transport hubs are experiencing severe flooding. On the very same date, September 5th, another disaster struck across the East China Sea. In northern Sichuan province, China, the heaviest rainstorm of the year swept through the region, overwhelming towns and villages. According to reports, the maximum rainfall in Guangyuan and Nanchong exceeded 250 millimeters in just 12 hours. This relentless downpour quickly turned into flash floods, sending water rushing into streets, fields, and low-lying homes. The sudden flooding forced people to flee for safety. Videos and local accounts show residents wading through waist-deep waters, carrying what belongings they could manage. In some areas, people climbed onto rooftops to escape the surging floods, waiting for help to arrive. Farmers in rural communities saw their crops and fields submerged, while urban areas struggled with blocked roads and flooded buildings. The downpour caused severe damage to roads and bridges, cutting off some communities from emergency responders. Vehicles were seen stuck or swept away by strong currents. Public transportation was disrupted, and in several districts, electricity and communication services were temporarily knocked out. Local authorities in Sichuan quickly launched emergency response operations. Rescue teams were deployed to assist stranded residents, and temporary shelters were set up to house those forced to evacuate. The focus is now on restoring access to cut-off areas and preventing further casualties as rain continues in the region. On September 5th, both Japan and China faced destructive forces of nature. In Japan, a typhoon, dangerous floods, and suspected tornadoes tore through neighborhoods. In Sichuan, China, torrential rains turned into deadly flash floods within hours.